consumers are warned about sharing too much of their information on social media platforms. Sharing too much on these platforms may help fraudsters obtain your personal details. Police, together with the South African Banking Risk Information Centre, SABRIC, have launched a safe banking campaign. Banks have been defrauded of more than R500 million up to September this year alone. Earlier we spoke to SABRIC CEO Kalyani Pillay and started off by asking her why consumer spending increases around this time of the year.
I think, people, for one, have access to more monies over this time. There's far more spending happening. So, of course, creating greater opportunities for criminals who are, looking to get bank clients' personal information, get their log-on information. And people, because they tend to be a little relaxed during this time, are not as alert as they need to be. And, of course, the criminals will certainly make use of this opportunity. So, we thought it's really important to remind bank clients again of all the different scams out there. None of it is new, but just to remind them to be on the alert, to know what the modus operandi is, and to know how to protect themselves.
Now, speaking of the MO, we know that fraudsters have very specific MO for different types of fraud. Take us through some of the most prevalent ones.
I think, looking at ATMs, most people use ATMs. We're finding that criminals actually are approaching people while they're using the ATM, offering assistance to them, and in that process actually swapping their cards. Alternatively, if they don't swap the card, then they actually have somebody that's quite close by to them who's an accomplice that actually skims this card. And because they are purporting to offer you assistance, they stand so close to you that they can actually see you put your PIN number in. One of the things that we're finding that criminals are also doing is that when they're approaching the bank client while they're doing their transaction, they walk up to them offering assistance and they press the cancel button. That then releases the card from the ATM, and in this process of helping, they actually do the swap. They have another card with them, and the bank client doesn't always know that their card is now not going into the machine and that the perpetrator has it. Sometimes when they actually swap the card, we tend to take our card out of the ATM, put it straight into our bag and our wallet. We don't read to see whether it is in fact our card. And what's happening is that where they swap it, they're actually in possession of the bank client's card and you have somebody else's card with you. So that's just one of the things. So we're saying don't accept any assistance from anybody at an ATM. Don't allow anyone to stand too close to you so that they can see your PIN number. And always, irrespective of whether you're in or outside of South Africa, always cover the keypad of the ATM and the keypad of the point of sale device. So whether you're buying over the counter, paying in a restaurant, wherever you're using your card and where you have to put in your PIN, always keep the keypad covered. Another thing that we're finding quite prevalent at this time is what is called phishing. So while perpetrators have been sending out phishing emails and SMSs to try and solicit information purporting to be somebody else or the bank, they're now making phone calls to bank clients, convincing them that it's the bank, and they're asking for information like the card number, the expiry date, the CVV number. If you give that to anybody, people can transact online as if they are, that particular bank card holder. So we're saying, please be alert. The bank will never ask you for any such information. Don't give any of your banking information to anyone at any time. It's just not negotiable.
Now, another big warning coming from SABRIC is that of social media use. Yes. The reality is everybody's using social media every single day, all the time, all day.
Yeah.
How do consumers protect themselves in that regard?
Sure. I think that's really very important. People tend to post all kinds of things, and criminals are harvesting whatever information they can. So we're saying to bank clients, please, if you're using any social media platform, always make sure that you go into the settings section and set your privacy settings to the highest level so that you choose who sees the posts that you're actually placing out there, so that it's, you choose either your friends or friends of friends, but not just all and sundry, because that's what the criminals are actually doing. They're going on and they harvesting all this information only to use it against you through social engineering techniques to manipulate you into believing that there's somebody else, that kind of thing. You post that you were at this particular restaurant this morning having coffee with your friend. They pick up the phone and they say, oh, you know, I was at this particular restaurant, I saw you, my friend said I should contact you. Immediately you're at ease because you think it's somebody who knows you. So it's very important not to allow your platforms to just be open to everybody.
Perhaps a good way to wrap this up would be to look at beyond the festive season. We've looked at some of the things that can happen in terms of fraud during the festive season, but what should consumers look out for on a day-to-day basis? Because fraud is an everyday thing.
Absolutely. I think always make sure that you protect your private information, protect your banking information. Don't ever use any device where you're putting your personal information, your banking information, where you're doing your banking devices, your phone, your laptop, iPad, tablets. Make sure that you have antivirus and anti-spyware on that. People tend to not worry about it on their mobile phones. You've got to have antivirus even on your mobile. So these are really important things. Cover the keypad. Don't give your information. Don't click on any links on emails and things that you weren't expecting. Malware could be behind that. And very important also, don't allow anybody to get you to allow a deposit to be made into your account on their behalf. People are getting bank clients to allow them to use their accounts to pass monies through. You actually could be considered to be part of that criminal act because you become a money mule. Criminals are trying to use.
Is that a form of money laundering?
It is, and these are legitimate accounts by legitimate account holders, and the criminals are actually using that to actually launder and to move the proceeds of crime. So please don't allow anyone to use your bank account, or don't open a bank account for somebody else.